So now we'd like to look at portfolio development. As you're preparing your portfolio, the first question that needs to be answered is, what's the purpose of it? The purpose for this portfolio that you're putting together is it will be a collection of documents that communicate your philosophy of teaching, summarizes your classroom readiness, provides evidence of your effectiveness, and demonstrates a commitment to professional development. Your portfolio could be a binder, notebook, folder, it could be a satchel, but you will be putting together for this presentation an electronic portfolio. We'll be looking today at what you'll put in it and what it can do for you. In your portfolio, you want to include your educational philosophy. So you identify which one of the educational philosophers is most closely aligned with what you believe about education. And then we'll look at some items that shows artifacts that show your implementation of the philosophy, and then how you can assess what you believe, assess what you teach, and then you definitely want to make sure that you include on all of your artifacts a reflection of why you included this, what do you think about it. As you're developing your portfolio, you want to look now, what should be in it? Now, it depends on what stage you're at. When you get to the stage of completing your student internship, that is your final capstone project, this is what all of these items should be in your portfolio. That's for the final capstone. Now, for those of you who are looking at this and you are in the process of, you have not begun your student teaching, then you don't need all of these items. For those of you who have not yet begun your student teaching, you're primarily looking at artifacts that reflect INTAS standards. And some of these other items listed could reflect INTAS standards as well. Standards that reflect North American Division requirements for teachers, that reflect Maryland State Department of Education requirements for teachers, which include classroom management plan, lesson plans. Some of these you will have if you have not yet begun your student teaching. But for sure, if you finish your student teaching, if you're at the end of your student teaching, the beginning of your student teaching, you would have all of these items within your portfolio. Now, what will you use to put together an electronic portfolio? Well, using the wiki websites, any of the wiki websites, can be very beneficial. Because you're in education, you can actually create a free classroom for yourself. You can just go to the website, wikispaces.com, and go to content. Make sure you use the classroom, because it is free for classroom teachers, which you are considered a classroom teacher. There's so many things that you can do. So I strongly encourage you, when you have time, to go ahead and open a Wikispaces account, and you can use that to develop your portfolio. You can use a blog, you can have a website, and where it says pricing, you don't have to worry about that, because you're in education. You don't have to worry about the price of it, because of course you'll have a free page. Or I strongly encourage you to use the expanded PowerPoint. Now, this is one that was developed a few years ago by a teacher by the name of Ms. Summers. And we'll just look at, and this is a lesson planning electronic portfolio that she put together, samples of types of lesson plans that she developed. As you see, she had a table of contents in it. She had Bible apps, field trips, annual plans, or format plans. Let's see how she did this. She did her philosophy. She had her classroom philosophy. This is what she believes, and it's actually longer than this, and you can go back and I think this might be available on the course page. Her unit lesson plans and so on. She has different types of lesson plans that are on here. Standards-based lesson plan. She has community outreach, which would be an example of faith and learning, because she works with her church. There's different ways that you can show faith and learning. Field trip, as I said, that's on there. She has Bible apps, applications that she would use within her classroom. So if you'd like, you can take some time to look at hers. It's probably more clearly presented on the course webpage, because the entire document is there. And then as you are putting together your portfolio, you want to bear in mind the rubrics for evaluation. And these rubrics probably look familiar to you, because the rubrics are designed based on the INTAS standards. As you can see, those of you that have already begun your student teaching, and those who have not, you are familiar with the INTAS standards as well, related to learning development, learning differences, learning environments, and each one of those are included here. This is on the course page as well. Okay. So again, as you're putting together your portfolio, you want to, if you are already in your student teaching, examples of your action research, everyone should be able to include their resume. Everyone should be able to include their philosophy of teaching, examples of faith and learning. If you're doing your student teaching, then you would already have a teaching video. One of the professors at WAU would have taken a short video clip of you, or maybe your mentor teacher did, but you can include that as well. Everyone should be able to include samples of lesson plans, classroom management, which in turn reflect InTASK, would suffice for some of the artifacts for InTASK. If you've already begun your student teaching, you've already put together an autobiography, and you already have started your professional development plan. So that's just an overview of what would be in an electronic portfolio. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Have a great day. Goodbye.